Hey guys, Andrew here with the Reach Company. This is a tutorial for our Freedom Essentials website. It's one of our Church Essentials sites where churches can come in and replace our logos, content, colors with their own. And so on this website or in this tutorial, this is just for the Freedom Essentials site. We're going to look at our next steps area, and we're going to look at how to tweak the content on this page. We're going to look at how to add another next step for your website visitors, and we're going to look at how to build that page using our next steps template as a guide for the content that you're adding. And so first things first, we want to edit the content on this page. So let's go to our page builder up top and click on next steps. That'll bring up the page builder for the next steps page. You can see that our page builder is active. If you haven't had a chance to look at the page builder overview tutorial, feel free to go scope that out real quick. We're gonna kind of breeze through making the changes here. The first thing I want to do is change this background picture. And so if you want to change that, you would click on the wrench for row settings, and you come over here to the background photo in the row settings, and you would edit it here. I'm not going to edit it. I don't want to change it. I think that's a pretty good next steps representation right there. But if you edit it, you just edit, save, and you're good. For this heading here, I want to go ahead and click the heading. As you can see, it says next steps. I want to connect that to the post title, the page title here. So I'm going to go ahead and connect it. And it shouldn't change because the title of my page is next steps. So no changes there. And I'm going to go ahead and save this. We scroll down to this next row. Remember that our page builder is boxes inside of boxes, and they're stacked on top of one another basically. So in this row we have this snippet of text right here. You can change this to your content. It doesn't matter if you're checking out, if you are just checking out Freedom for the very first time, or if you've been here coming for years. Everyone has a unique step. You can keep this snippet and just put in your church name, or you can make it completely brand new for you, whatever you need to do. And we click save. Here we have our next steps. We're using a post module that to populate this area. We're going to click on query here. You can see that query is set to the post type is pages. And if you scroll down, what makes this special is the church filter we have added here. So we have this set to the next step on the church filter, and I'll show you what that is in a second. But what it means is that anytime you build a page and you select next step on the back end, it automatically populates here with whatever next step you created. So we're going to go ahead and click done and publish. And what we're going to do is we're going to add another next step for people. And for this one, we're just going to add like a leadership type of next step. And so let's go to new page. And we're going to name this page Become a Leader. And you'll see that it automatically comes up with a link right here. I want to edit that link. I like simple links. And so I'm going to change that to just lead and click OK. We scroll down to the on-page SEO. I always recommend writing a description for your page until this says good. This is important because when someone shares it on social media, they see this description right here. So you get to tailor make what people see on social media. It's also what search engines like Google see, and so it's important to update this custom page description. You can scroll over to social. A lot of that will automatically come over here once you change the page description. And I always recommend adding a social image so that when someone shares this page on social media, they see the image that you want to be shared. I always like adding like an image that says the page title here. Let's scroll up to the top over here to church filter. We're going to select next step so that it automatically goes to that next step area. On the page attributes for the parent page, this is going to be under next steps, and this just keeps our pages organized as we add more. And then the last thing we're going to do is add a featured image to this. And so we can select any one of these images. Just for time's sake, I like selecting the perfect image, but I'm just going to pull that one for now. and we're going to select that featured image, and then we're going to click publish. So right now our page is pretty much empty, and so what we need to do is come over here to Page Builder, and it'll take us to the Page Builder on the front end. If this is your first time using it, it'll ask you if you want a tour, basically. And so there's two options you have here. The first option is if you've been playing around with the Page Builder and you feel confident in building the page out yourself, by all means you can add some rows and modules and get going. We already have some saved rows, like the page cover can go here. We have an interior row that can go here, and then we have buttons as well for that are already saved and should use the colors that you set in the site customizer for the site. We're going to go to templates though. I have a next steps template with a form already. And so we're just gonna edit this template to be what we need it to be for our site. And so the first thing I want to do is change this this background image again for this row. We're gonna edit the row, and I'm gonna select the same as the featured image. Actually, I'm gonna select this image. I want to show you something. So we can select that image. The other thing we can do is we can come over here to this little plus icon, and we can connect the featured image that we set on the back end to this page. And we'll make sure that it's full size. We don't need to select the default image because we selected a featured image. And that should update to be the image that we set on the back end just a minute ago. The next is this heading area right here. So I want to click it, and it's kind of the same boat here. You can change the heading title to be what you want it to. I'm going to select it to be the title of the page, the post title, and it should update automatically to say become a leader, which is what we named the page. Here we can add a snippet to describe what this page is about. You can add more. You can add whatever you need to here. I have something already copied. I'm just going to copy and paste in something I'm already using. Let me select it all. I'll change the font size and I'll make it italicized, and I'll center it. And obviously I copied this from my church, so let me change that to Freedom Church, and I'll click Save. Now maybe there's other things that you want to add to this page. Maybe there's like a leadership process or a leadership like pipeline that you want to communicate. You can use any of the modules here. For example, maybe you want to add a list. You know, let's go ahead and do that. Let's add a list. So this first one is submit an app, and you can put fill out the form below. And the icon, you can select an icon. I'm going to select a custom character. I just want to put this is step number 1 here, okay? And I'm going to save that, and it should update that automatically. Now I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this one and edit it. And we'll say interview with pastor. And don't freak out. And we'll save that. Oh, but I forgot to change the number. So let me go back in real quick and change that custom text to 2. Here I can select where the icon is. I'm going to make it centered. And you can add other things here to make it look how you would like for it to look. There's a bunch of options on all these modules, and I really recommend, like, it just takes a little bit of time tweaking and playing around with it. I want to take out that connector. And I think that's fine for me now. I'm just going to go ahead and save it. And I'm going to bring it in a little bit. That looks neat right there, okay? I guess one other thing we could do is change the change this row to be a different color. Let's change it to be that blue. Text color, let's change it to be white. Heading color, make heading color that. And you'll see that when I did that, I kind of messed up my my icon color there too. So I could go back and change this icon color again. Let me change it to, let me just change the background color, just for simplicity's sake here. All right, so we added that row. You can add this for any of the next steps, any more content that you need for next steps. If you need help with that, let us know. We'll be glad to help you discover how to do it. Now we have this form. So if you're building this by yourself, like if you're just starting from scratch and you want to build your own page, it's always helpful. We have a form preset over here saved, and so you could just drag and drop here and it keeps the styling. You won't have to change any of the styling around. For here, since we use the template, it's already here. And so I'm gonna select the form, and I'm gonna change this to Life Group Leader application. I thought I had a leader application, but that's good enough. Life Group Leader application. And so you see that it changes the form to all the stuff that we have on our Life Group Leader application. All the forms on these sites are forms that I use on our own church, my own church website. And so there's another tutorial on how to change forms and add forms and all that fun stuff. That's not for this tutorial. Be sure to find the tutorial on how to create forms and use the form capability that all these sites have, all these essential sites have. And so we changed that to Life Group Leader. I'm going to go ahead and click Save. And I'm going to go ahead and publish it. And so you'll see that we added a new a next steps page to lead. We changed the content. We added a row right here for here are the steps to become a leader. Submit an app and don't freak out with your interview with the pastor. And then we had this form here, and we went ahead and changed it to the Life Group Leader application. Now, let's go back to next steps. And we should see that it has automatically become a part of this next steps area on the page. And it has. So that is how you tweak the next steps page to add the content that you need it to be there. And that's how to build a next step area, a next step page. Don't forget to select next steps on that church filter. And when you build out that page, use the next steps template. And after you publish it and everything's done, it automatically shows up here ready for people to take their next step.